The afternoon passes once again. I find myself without a plan for something to do after school. So I head to the library to return a couple of books I finished reading. Walking inside, I see that there are about as many students here as there were on Tuesday. All the morning evident from the almost total silence enveloping this room. As I rob the books I borrowed from the return slot in the counter, Yugo suddenly appears, pops up from behind it. It quite startled from the banging they make as they hit the trolley next to her. Ah, sorry Yuko, didn't mean to startle you. No, it's fine. It happens a lot. I'm used to it by now. Can I help you? It's okay. I think I know everything. I know where everything is. Thanks anyway. I suppose I'll grab another book or two while I'm here. There's not much else to do. And after reading so much during my stay in the hospital, it becomes hard to have. It becomes a hard habit to break. I wander down the fiction section towards the back of the library, scanning the bookshelves for anything that catches my eye. As I do, I look over to the corner where Naoko had been the last time I was here, not really expecting anything to come of it. Surprisingly, though, she's there, absorbed completely in a fairly thick book. I decide against intruding on her, like last time, and get back to finding reading material. After an indiscernible amount of time spent pursuing the aisles, I finally decide on a couple of books to get and slide them off the shelf. With a minimum of fuss, I quickly walk over to the counter and check out my books and pop them into my bag as I walk out. By the time I leave the main building, sunset isn't too far away. A small trickle of students remain and the majority left, presumably to their homes and dorms. I guess I need to buy some supplies. I can't live off cafeteria food, eating out for my entire stay here. As I leave for the gate, I make a few loud stretches to try and stave off the tiredness that accumulates over this week. After passing through the rounding in the corner, though, I see a solitary figure walking downhill towards the small town below. The color of her hair and the tapping of her cane are unmistakable. I quickly walk up to her, which seems to catch her attention without a word needing to be said. Hi, Lily. She takes a moment to place the voice, slowly adjusting her head, the face a bit more towards the source of my voice as she does. Is Sal? Yep, that's me. She seems to have good memory for voices. The fact she actually remembered it is a pleasant surprise. Good evening, what brings you here? Once again, she gives a small polite bow, and once again I reply and kind of before realizing it that I didn't need to do so. Just going into town, you? My, what a coincidence. We're doing the same thing, eh? I usually go shopping on Fridays. She pauses for a moment, suddenly looking like a little lost. That said, Hanako usually comes into town with me. Ah, not lost, but worried. The two do seem to keep pretty close tabs on one another. It's kinda surprising that Hanako would just forget Lily like that. I noticed her reading in the library. She probably just got caught up in a book. She lets out a small sigh of relief. Thank you, she has a habit of doing that. Avid reader? Right, she doesn't like being around crowds of people. So reading away... Oh, crap. Whatever, reading away it's like an escape, whatever. Although she probably didn't attend it, I can't help but grimace as I recall my first meeting with her. Hardly wanting to bring it up, I remained silent as we quietly continued to walk down the quiet road. Tack, 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 tack. With the road bereft of cars and students of Yamaku increasingly far behind us, the quiet rustling of the leaves and measured tapping of Lily's cane against the sidewalk are all that can be heard. It's kinda nice, especially compared to the hustle and bustle of where I used to live. Before I know it, I've relaxed so much that a loud yawn escapes from before I can control it. Tired. Yeah, you've been... Yeah, I've been running reg these past few days. That's understandable, to be sure. Transferring into different schools would be better. It would be bad enough, but nothing like this. Hopefully. Well, hopefully everything should settle down for you. That festival's gotten everyone in a spin right now, and you've been plopped right in the middle of things. For a moment I hesitate, but given her apparent tolerance for frankness, instead I give my full thoughts. I guess Yamaku is kind of a different, though. I mean, the formality surrounding everything is isolation around it, not to mention the most obvious difference. It's kind of a whole different mindset. I suppose I'll get used to it though in time. She gives a matter-of-fact nod, apparently pleased with my answer. It feels almost as if she included me in the flock of students that she's shepherding along with class 3-2 and Hanako. Well, not that I mind, it's nice to get my thoughts off my chest in any case. Looking on the bright side, one can see it as a chance for a new beginning. You should cherish the ability to make new friends. That's optimistic nonetheless. It's good to have a positive attitude about such things, I suppose. I guess that's a good take on it. Walking down the road, she seems to become somewhat unsettled before I can ask what's on her mind. She seems to collect herself and speak up about something else. So where in town are you going? It's actually a pretty good question. I'd come in to buy food, but the layout of the place is still totally foreign to me. I had intended just to wander around to see what I can find, but with sunset already approaching and nightfall not too far away, it doesn't seem very wise. I'm gonna have to ask her for directions again. I was gonna get some food, but now that you mention it, I don't really know the way. Well now, that is quite lucky. I was just going through the convenience store myself. Looks like I'll be in your care again, and thanks. Together we walked to the store, my pace carefully slowed to remain beside her. Compared to my usual walking pace, hers is quite a bit slower. Not that it's without reason. After what couldn't be more than several minutes, I catch sight of our objective, 7-Eleven. This town is pretty small. Without further ado, we make our way inside with a greeting from the counter. Mind if I tag along with you? Usually Anako helps me, but seeing as she's not here, it takes a moment before I realize what she means. Considering what she wouldn't be able to read any labels, shopping without any help would be a big pain for her. That said, I can't shake the feeling that she'd had the idea since I was coming here. Sure, it'd be my pleasure. I grabbed 2 well-used red baskets from the small stack beside the entrance, handing one to Lily. Oh, alright. She lays it on the ground, putting her school bag in, retracting her cane and sliding it through the basket handles before picking it back up in her right hand. Wait, if she doesn't use her cane... Before I complete the thought, she comes beside me and pinches the cuff on my uniform in her slender fingers. Oh my god. Oh, that's adorable. Oh. It's alright. Oh. It's adorable. I have no reason not to accept. I can think of worse things than shopping with a pretty girl holding on to me, even if it's out of necessity. Why is she only holding on to our cuff, man? You just grab her arm. Oh, no. I don't know. I'm not sure how that would work. We navigate our way through the store with not one of the occasional passing customers seeming to bat an eyelid. Considering how close Yamaku is, I guess seeing students from there must be entirely normal for the local residents. As we reach the aisle, I quickly check with Lily and find out what she needs. I grab with what I'm looking for and put our items in our respective baskets. I guess it's the same routine she and Anako follow every Friday. Right, all that's left is bread, and that should be my shopping done. Do you need anything else, Lily? No, this should be everything. Off we go then. With a quick side trip to the bakery section, we make our way to the registers. The line, thankfully, is almost non-existent. It's not long before we both paid for our food and are out of the door. As Lily retrieved her cane and extends it to full length, I waste a minute looking upward at the night sky while holding both of her bags. Wait, what? Oh, alright, yeah. For a moment I try to make clouds with my breath, but the summer's heat doesn't seem to cooperate. Eventually she's right herself, taking a quick stretch before taking her bag and leaving me to my two. I think I can stop my yawns if I put my tongue to the top of my mouth. But I love yawning too much to do that. You're tired as well. The festival preparations have been complete chaos. Shizune's breathing down my neck doesn't exactly help things either. Hey, she's only trying to get everything organized. Better now than later, right? I suppose. I'm gonna enjoy relaxing in town tomorrow, that's for certain. I guess the festival preparations must be taking their toll on both of them. We walk out in the quiet street, talking between ourselves as we carry our bags of food and supplies from the store. Wait, what's that? I notice a very distinctive figure making its way towards us, silhouetted by the street lamps. For a second it's another male student from my class, but as he, or should I say she, gets closer, I recognize her quickly. Rin, what are you doing out here so late? Rin? Lily perks her head, looking like she's trying to focus on listening more keenly. It suddenly comes to me that I should probably interrupt the scene for her. It's Rin Tezuka, I think was the last name from her school. She stiffens at the name and gives a complicated-looking expression, something like a forced fusion of composed smile and painful cringe. Ah, I understand. I guess Lily knows Rin too. Rin turns to look at us, looking terribly out of it. I'm not entirely sure if she's recognized either of us, or at least she doesn't acknowledge it if she does. She looks like a zombie, or a statue of a zombie. But slowly, with some symptoms of understanding, seems to light in her dark eyes. This is something she must react to. Rin blinked once, very thoroughly. Hello. There's an awkward pause, everyone waiting for someone else to say something. What are you doing here this late? I was wondering about that myself too just now. Some of you asked just before. I assumed they were wondering the same. I didn't know. They didn't know either. I asked, that's why I'm wondering. So that's pretty much it. It's a murder mystery without a murder. They were going that way. She turns facing to the right in order to demonstrate the direction the other people went to, as if that was important, and rotates back like a mechanical puppet in one of the overly complicated clockworks. For a person who gives an impression of being the quiet type, Rin really does use a lot of words to say things that don't need a lot to be said. I'm sure if she's finished, I say nothing. Neither does Lily, who seems equally robbed of words for the time being. I think that both of us are in fact just scared that any response might provoke her to continue. Our stupefied lack of reaction doesn't faze Rin at all. She keeps looking at us expectantly, a calm expression of her blank face. She seems to be that kind of person, always so relaxed. As if full elephant grade sedatives were flowing in her veins in the place of blood. Do you have amnesia? I don't recall you having anything of that sort, though. No, I don't think it's that. The other passerby were probably just worried, though. You do look really lost. The way you're standing in the middle of the street. Oh, I see. Maybe you should have taken some other kind of pose in that case. I pondered for a while whether I should chase this angle further or give the sake of my own sanity. I decided on the latter. It seems that most of the time it's better not to read too deeply into what Rin is babbling about. Talking with Rin is like playing chess with a supercomputer who does some seemingly completely random moves, as if to mock everything you know about chess. It's like that, except with human interaction. And even if I win, I feel like losing. Damn, it's just like Kenji said. Even when I win, I lose. Is this the power of the girls of Yamaku? I pushed the thought aside as too dangerous to consider further. It's probably just Kenji's anti-feminist propaganda getting to me during a moment of weakness. Yeah, maybe taking another pose might have worked. So anyway, you have no idea what you're doing here. She frowns, looking extremely displeased at either my question its consequences or the answer she's about to give. Crap. That sounds like progress, at least. Lily sounds as if she spotted an opening for some kind of discernibly normal conversation. I can't say I share her opinion. Yes, there is some. Definitely. The rest will come later. I'm sure of it. I always have reasons. Ensuing silence kills Lily's hopes of all too visibly. That didn't last long. Friends, as far as I can tell, unbased assurance aside, what should be done? We could just leave her to her own devices, whatever those are. Well, it's late, and I don't think we'll be getting any thanks if Rin is found standing in the middle of the night. But she probably will, unless she manages to remember what she was doing here in the first place. As for me trying to guess what might have been going on in her mind, when she decided to embark on this adventure, the chances seem to be on par with winning the lottery, several times in a row. Lily is oddly quiet too. I'd appreciate some sort of support from the sidelines here, especially if she's more familiar with Rin than I am. But it can't be helped. It seems her familiarity with Rin is exactly why she's staying subdued. So I assume you were going to somewhere, not be meant to school. Any idea where? Her eyes widen in shock and she jolts back in a somewhat artificial way, making it seem like an act rehearsed for situations like this. Are you a mind reader? Is that your disability? How unique. No, what? Why would you think that? You know what I was doing. It was just an educated guess. We walked the same street in the other direction just before to get to the store. If you were going to the school, we would have met you on the way. Oh. She looks just a little disappointed. Like Kenji, Rin appears to jumps to completely irrational conclusions. Maybe it's something in the water here, and make a mental note to stock up on different drinks. You know that it's the second time in the week someone asked if I was a mind reader. Did I really give off that impression? Rin shrugs her shoulders, which is all the answer I get. You know, maybe you should come with us back to school. Lily interjects just as I am about to go further and debunk my alleged mind reading capabilities. She sounds rather concerned, the paper-thin smile on her face badly disguising the fact. Maybe she came to the same conclusion as I did. For everyone's sake, I decided to let the mind-reading topics drop, as it's entirely insane anyways. Yeah, Lily's right. If you can't remember, there's no point in staying here. Rin considers the rather simple deduction for a moment, then nods. Okay. Oh, you can hear cicadas. We start towards the school again, having wasted way more than necessary with this episode. Rin walks along the edge to the sidewalk in a rhythmic way, looking like a mix of sleepwalker and rope dancer, while Lily keeps on one hand on my shoulder, tapping at the ground with her cane. Tap, step, step, tap, tap, step, step, step. Apart from that, a few fragmental beginnings of conversations. It's quiet. Quite apart from the relaxing one into town at all, at that. So how's the mirror going? We're gonna get bad luck. Never talk about work in progress. I'm sure it'll be fine. Bad luck. Tap, step, tap, step. She doesn't care. She doesn't care to talk about it. Lily's politeness feels out of place for the first time. Step, step, step. The hill Yamaku rests on top is surprisingly steep. Going uphill, we slow the pace, but I feel the pulse. Oh no. I still feel my pulse rising and breathing getting heavier. Almost there. I can see the gates ready. More than that though, I noticed Lily's hand slightly tighten on my shoulder, interpreting it as a gesture. As that she wants to ask something I speak up. Anything wrong, Lily? I risk the urge to say, aside from our traveling companion, but only just. For a moment she seems to debate whether she should even bring it up, but goes for it anyway. Is everything alright? Alright? How do you mean? The fact I can't interpret her vague question puts her off for a second. It's just, you seem unnaturally tired, I guess. Now that she brings it up, I notice that my breathing is strangely heavy. The uphill walk has really done a job on me. Only noticed it all too quickly. Okay, wait. Going back to the Rin being tall and Emmy being short. I think it's Emmy being short, because Lily is the tall one, I think. Alright, whatever. Get back to this. I don't really want to talk about it, or sorry, I'm not in very good condition. Honestly, I think you should just tell them. That's alright. I just need to catch my breath. My condition isn't the best these days. Oh, is it something that is related to you being transferred here? I mean, she cuts herself off rather abruptly, maybe realizing she was being a bit intrusive. Her instincts are sharp though, and while I do like the subject, I don't like the subject. It's not like I should lie about it. If it's Lily, I don't think I mind. I'm just a little weak for the time being. Hanako said you look fairly healthy, so I naturally thought. Lily doesn't finish her sentence again, letting it trail off with a measure of concern. So they talk about Hisao. And Rin looks really unamused by me pretty much dying. As she furrows her brow, Lily's uncomfortable expression spurs me to say at least something to ease her feeling. It's surprising she's this flustered, considering her straightforward attitude with her own blindness. She must know that not all share her own comfort in such things. No, it's okay. I have I guess the best way to put it would be a messed up heart arrhythmia. I had a bad heart attack a while ago because of it, and spent most of spring in the hospital. Ended it in Yamaku on doctor's orders. She silently nods her head in acknowledgement. My answer, though, only seems to make Lily furrow her brow even further. She doesn't quite know how to react, given we don't really know each other that well. I can't really fault her for it, given I have the exact same reaction. To my surprise, in a moment's time, her face shows that she comes to some sort of realization. Wait, so the time when Emmy and you collided in the hallway? I grimace slightly. Her ability to connect the dots quite so fast is unexpected. Yeah, I guess I'm a textbook example why those rules about running the corridor exist. It was a lot more dry than I intended. Lily visibly shies away from continuing the topic, and Rin just takes it all in. Well, I want to assert her concern. I really don't want to dwell on this either. Don't worry about it. I try to offer a reassuring smile, but then I realize the futility. Without knowing this, Lily smiles at me reassuringly, but doesn't say anything further. Arriving at the dorms, Rin stops in front of her mural as if lightning struck her. She had been quite quiet for almost all of the walk back, but I can't talk. For almost all of the walk back that I had but forgotten she was here. It's Friday, isn't it? Yeah, Friday, the 8th of June. This is bad. Bad? Why? I think I'm gonna go in the fetal position and throw up, possibly in reverse order. Something wrong? No, nothing is wrong. It's Friday, and nothing is wrong yet. This mural is going to need to be finished by Sunday, so everything's alright. Do you have any drugs or a time machine? This is not good, not good. So she's behind her schedule, recalling Shizune's exasperation at Rin's carefree attitude several days ago. I don't know what to think. She has left herself open for a told you so unless she can pull off whatever she needs to pull off by Sunday morning. Rin keeps staring at a mural, looking at it as mortified as she can. Believe me, I'm gonna need to work for a while. I glance at Lily, expecting her to share an incredulous look with me as I roll my eyes, but then I realize she's not the one to do that kind of thing. Because she's blind, Hisao. You need to remember that. She's blind. Believe me. We do, of course, not wanting to aggravate her any more than she already is. There's a churning bad feeling in my gut. Rin sure has a knack of making people feel worried about her. She seems like a person who would never be left alone. Maybe we should call someone. She sounded like she was going in shock or something. I'm sure she'll be fine. She's just, how to say, Lily cocks her head a little, trying to find a polite way to for calling Rin crazy without calling her crazy. Unique. Yes, a very unique person. I guess you could say that. She giggles at the notion of melodiously nodding agreement. Sorry about leaving you stranded as you talked to her. I don't really understand her, so I keep my distance. So my guess was right. Lily offers a slight apologetic smile as if she was sorry of her own shortcomings had prevented her from becoming closer to Rin. I'm not one to blame her at all. Lily slipped a long breath, probably disguised yawn. I imagine she's as exhausted by all this that I am. I better leave you now and give these to Hanako. Thank you for the company, Asao. She smiles very sweetly at me. It feels different than normal, despite the fact that she seems to be smiling so often. I can't put my finger on what's different is. It's just different. Relaxed, but that's probably relief over getting rid of Rin, maybe. Yeah. Good night. Say hi to Hanako for me. I will. Good night. Ugh. Every time they bring up yawning, I have to yawn. Ugh. Kinda. Well, I think that's it for me. I was really doing horrible there at talking, and I kept yawning, so I'm just gonna, yeah, gonna save it here. Look how far we've come, guys. Wait, look how far we've come. Wow. And yeah, it's just gonna keep going. Playtime 5:49. Yeah, it's been like almost 6 hours, I guess. And we're still in the first act. So I hope you enjoyed my blabbering, and see you next time, maybe. Bye.